This podcast is for voice teachers and coaches to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want? I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur podcast. Hey, voice teacher. Welcome back to another episode of the Voicepreneur podcast. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. I am always just so appreciative to share this space with you. Truly, it is the coolest thing. Podcasting is the coolest thing. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It's really, really fun. I always enjoy just sharing this space with you, sharing this information with you. And I love podcasts. I don't know about you, but I just love listening to podcasts. So hopefully this is just as enjoyable for you to listen to as it is for me to give to you. Thank you for especially clicking on this episode, because this is an episode that I'm sure a lot of us, if not all of us, are going to experience or have experienced as a voice teacher and a business owner. We be talking about how to handle students that leave, clients that leave, and what to do when you start losing money. Because let's be real, wouldn't it be so great if we could just have the same amount of clients all day and always make the same amount of money every single month? But unfortunately, that is not how business goes, and that is not how it goes as a voice teacher either. So I've been teaching voice lessons for almost 15 years. So I have been through this experience so many times. And as a business coach too, it's no different being a business coach than it is to be a voice teacher. Anytime that we are doing any type of coaching and we have one-on-one clients that we are working with and we are secretly depending on to pay our bills, we are going to have ebbs and flows. We're going to have income dips. We're going to have times when our students just don't want to work with us anymore. And that is okay. And let's talk about how to actually handle that and deal with that. Today, I genuinely just want to meet you where you're at if you are feeling the emotional impact of losing a client. Like I said, I so have been there. I have been there so many times, and I totally get it. It freaking sucks. And here's the thing, and this is the very first thing that I want to talk about here. With everything that happens in life, let this be a reminder always and forever. There are always two ways that we can view the things that happen in our life, right? We can view it as being a victim to life, to anything and everything, living in victimhood, or we can view it as an opportunity for more abundance. An opportunity. An opportunity. Everything is an opportunity if you look at it that way. And we all know those people in life who tend to view life like it is coming at them and like they're a victim to everything and life is terrible and they just live in this victimhood. I can think of a few very close people in my life who literally have never gotten out of that mindset. And it's so interesting, but also not that surprising that they continue to attract negative things, negative experiences, right? When you live in victimhood and you think that life is out to get you, guess what? Life is going to come out to get you. And it's not like life is really cruel and it's meant to go out to get you. It's all about how we actually experience it, right? Everything is about how you think of it. So that's the very first thing is I want to ask you, when this student leaves, if this student has already left, if you're experiencing this right now, how are you viewing this situation? Are you viewing it like a victim, or are you viewing it like this is an opportunity? Are you in victimhood or are you in abundance? Abundance does not mean that we have everything we want all the time. Abundance is a perspective. Abundance is an energy. Abundance is a vibe. And the more that we can put ourselves in this vibe, in this energy, the more we will attract the things that we want. Now, look, let's be real. Our negative narrator, our brain that is going to go off and tell us all these terrible things about us and why we're a shit teacher and why we deserved this and how horrible we are and all of these terrible negative thoughts that we have inside of ourselves that tend to be very mean to ourselves when we go through hard experiences, that is totally natural. Okay, this is going to come up. Absolutely. It's part of being a human. So first things first, allow those thoughts to come up. We don't have to live in this state of toxic positivity. That's not what we're talking about here when we talk about victimhood versus abundance. We're simply talking about you have control over the next thoughts you have after your negative narrator is going to be mean to you. Let your negative narrator be mean to you for a second. Allow that space. Allow yourself to just feel like shit, and it's okay. And then take this as an opportunity to really cultivate an abundance mindset. So how do we do that? Especially when it comes to being a voice teacher, and especially when it comes to taking on one-on-one clients. The next thing that I would really recommend is to take the I out of it. It's not about you, okay? It's not about why you're a shitty teacher and why you deserved this and all of these things that our brain is going to tell us. It's not about that. What if we could take it not so personally, take the I out of it, and actually get above the situation mentally, look at it from a really high level and just think, you know what? There are students that just don't want to take voice lessons right now. That's okay. People are experiencing their life, and we can't know what's going on in every single individual's life, and we can't control everyone's life and make them take lessons forever. That is just not reasonable and not realistic, right? So we don't know, and that is okay. Maybe your students just don't want to take voice lessons right now, or they can't, or they financially aren't able to, or they're moving, or they're having a baby, or there's a million reasons why somebody needs to press pause or stop taking voice lessons. And that is okay and none of our business. How instead we can really view this is that my dream students are coming. My dream students are coming. You know, the universe works in beautiful, magical ways that we really can't see. And one of the beautiful, magical ways that it works is that when you plant that seed of, I am open and available for my ideal dream students to come my way, then the universe is going to go, oh, great. Okay, I'm going to do all of these things behind the scenes to help you get those students. You are not going to see results right away, but they're coming. I got to do some stuff, okay? I got to make sure that that student can afford it and that they're in the right place and that they live in the right location and that they're ready to sing and that they're committed and blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for those students to come our way. But let's really remember this, that they are coming. I've talked about this in a previous episode, but the mantra is something good is coming always. Something good is coming always. It really and truly is. So that's really important that we take the I out of it. We don't take it so personally, and we really believe that dream students are on their way. This also means that you now have the capacity and the space for them to come. I don't know about you, but oftentimes when a student will leave my studio and they don't want to be a student anymore, I almost feel a little bit of relief when they're gone. Dare I say. They tend to be the students that I don't necessarily want to teach forever. And then when they end up quitting or pausing or whatever it is, I often will be like, oh, awesome. Great. Now I have the space for my ideal student to come in. This happens all the time. There are so many voice teachers that I talk to that have had the same experience where they will kind of just plant that seed of I really want my dreamy ideal students to come in. And I have some students in my studio that are not really my dreamy ideal students. And then all of a sudden, those students will end up not wanting to take voice lessons anymore, or will just stop, or for whatever reason, right? And then they secretly are like, whoa, I didn't even do that. I didn't even tell them that I didn't want to teach them. That just happened. That literally just happened. You know why that happened? Because the universe has your back. Because there is magic happening behind the scenes. And sometimes we don't have to be the driver of every single thing. Sometimes magical things like that happen where our not ideal students just decide to stop taking lessons as a way for you to have the capacity and the space, literally the time in your schedule, to allow the dreamy students to come in. That is magic. That is magic. I remember when I would really start practicing attracting my ideal students, especially when I first moved to Colorado from California and I didn't know anybody out here. And I was really determined, like, I'm not just going to take anybody. I really want to attract my ideal students. I would actually, in my planner, take a highlighter and box the time frames that were open in my schedule. I would box it with a pretty pink highlighter or orange or whatever, and I would write in it, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. This is the time I have available. Here it is. I'm ready for you. And even just that mindset shift in and of itself is so game changing versus looking at your calendar being like, oh my God, I have so much availability. I suck at teaching. I can't believe all these students left. Oh my God, I'm like not busy and I don't have 20 students and all these other teachers do and blah, 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 blah. Victimhood, right? Versus looking at your calendar and being like, I have so much space for my dreamy students to come in and I'm so damn excited. Holy cow, I am so excited for them to come in. Every day, I'm going to cultivate this mindset of I am ready for you. And I am so excited to have you, right? So that's huge. You know, the universe works in magical ways when it kind of allows those students to just sort of depart. And then that space is just going to arrive. And then soon enough, your dream students will come in. Here's the other thing I like to think about. What if your students got what they needed? What if they got what they needed? What if you're a great teacher and they got what they came for? And this is such a great mantra to think about with all of your offers, right? It doesn't have to be for one-on-one. In fact, everything we're talking about works for all of your offers, really. But, you know, think about the people who are inside of, let's say, an online course that you've created or a membership or a program or something where they are committed to it and then they end up canceling their subscription, something like that. What if they got what they needed? What if they genuinely were just like, this is what I want and this is what I got and I'm good now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And then they canceled their subscription or their membership or whatever it is, right? That's beautiful. That's an amazing thing to think about, that like I gave them what they needed. It's so, again, unrealistic to think that somebody is going to just stay with you for the rest of their life. Now, of course, we can talk all day about retention and loyalty with your clients because that's a whole other conversation. But in general, most of us, and we do this in our own personal lives as well, we like to spice things up. We like to go to a coach or a mentor or a teacher and get the experience that we were looking for. And then at some point we may feel like, all right, I got what I needed. Now I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to evolve. I'm ready to grow with somebody else. Right? We do this all the time. So maybe, perhaps, your students got what they needed. And that's such a lovely, lovely thought as a teacher. Now, as far as the strategery goes and how to actually create a system here that really helps to retain your students or even just keep them in your world. It doesn't even have to necessarily be, again, private lessons or a membership or anything like that. What if you actually created a better system that doesn't allow for cancellations? This is also huge, y'all, because so many times I will hear a teacher talk about how, oh, well, I just lost a student and they didn't pay me and their payment was due tomorrow or their payment was due next week and I just lost money like that. That is a cue for you to look at your own policies and for you to create a system that does not allow for that to happen, because that's just a business thing, okay? If something like that happens to you and you just like lose money and it's surprising that that happened and you weren't prepared for it, that is a cue for you, because now we can look at things like, okay, what's your termination policy? How many days, how many weeks, how many months, how long does somebody need to notify you that they are going to cancel their lessons, so that you, as the business owner, has that time to be able to fill in that space. We do this same exact thing with independent contractors, right? If we are hiring, let's say, an independent contractor, or we are an independent contractor, our employer, the person who employs us, or if we're the employer, is not going to just be like, you know what? I'm done with you. you're done. We're good. Not necessarily like firing you because you're an independent contractor, but like ending that relationship, you'd be like, excuse me, you just put me out some money here. I need 30 days notice. I need 60 days notice, right? We do these things all the time. So why not do them as a voice teacher? You can absolutely do that. Create a better system that allows for you to not be completely surprised when a student does that to you. I had to learn that the hard way. There was one family that I taught, and it was just such a weird experience in college. I taught 3 of their kids, okay? So lots of money on the table here. I love teaching those families when you get like real bang for your buck here. I showed up to their house the day that their lessons were supposed to happen and the day that their monthly payment was due. And she literally texted me while I was in the car parked in front of their house saying, actually, we're not going to do lessons anymore, but thank you so much. And I lost a huge chunk of money because I didn't have a termination policy. I'll never forget driving home from that experience, not only shell-shocked and crying and like, oh, fuck, how am I going to pay my rent? You know, that type of feeling, just like all of the feelings. And then I recognized, oh, this is on me. I didn't set myself up. This is literally on me. I need to create a policy around this. And that was what prompted me to create a termination policy. Termination policies are huge as a private teacher. Another one is a monthly minimum. So if you are doing like a membership or a subscription and you have like some sort of online program, or heck, it could be an in-person program, doesn't matter, but it's something that's ongoing and people are paying you for every month, how many months minimum does somebody need to be a part of your program before they actually terminate? And you don't have to do this. I know some teachers don't like this, and that's totally fine. You got to do what feels in alignment for you. But if you are a teacher that is expecting that somebody's going to continue paying and you go month to month, it's a little bit of a risk, right? Because they might cancel that next month. And then how many days, right? Like you go back to that termination policy. Well, how many days they need to give me before they actually tell me they're going to cancel? And do I need a monthly minimum and all kinds of these little things? So there are definitely things that you can do inside of your system to help you not be completely surprised and lose a bunch of money unexpectedly and very quickly. That's just such an important tip, to really look at all of your policies and all of your systems and make sure that they are supporting you. You can also create multiple offers at different price points and different commitment levels. So this is huge, right? So let's say that somebody is going to go from weekly lessons, if we're talking about private lessons, to nothing, and they just like dropped the ball. And let's say that they still want to sing, but they just don't have time for the lessons. They don't have time for the weekly thing, but you don't have another offer to give them. That is your cue again to go, I need to create another offer here. A low ticket offer, right? Something that isn't quite as big of a commitment, something that is going to meet my student where they're at, that allows me a little bit of that financial security and allows the student to continue singing, but not necessarily in the same way that we've always been doing it. So really be thinking about this in terms of your entire offer suite. Do I have different offers at different price points for different commitment levels? This is where having an online course or an online library, a digital library, or any of these types of things are so freaking helpful. Because now you can be like, oh, you don't want to take weekly lessons? That's totally fine. Come and get access to, my online program, and you can still pay X amount of dollars per month to get access to it. And this will still allow you to be able to warm up your voice and practice and do all of these things that maybe are inside of this online resource for them without having to schedule lessons with me. Right? And you can do the same thing. Oh, it's so exciting. You can do the exact same thing for yourself, depending on what season of life you're in. There are going to be seasons in life where you can't teach weekly lessons. I'm actually thinking right now specifically about having a baby, because having a baby is freaking life-changing, right? And if you've had a baby or you've been through that experience, maybe you're a dad or a mom, it doesn't matter. You know that period of time, right before you have the baby and then right after you have the baby, like there is like a good chunk of time where life is like, what is life? What is life? I'm just living in my blob land with my little blob, and we are just blobbing, and I don't have time for weekly lessons, but I still need the money, right? So you can also do the same exact thing for yourself. Depending on what season you're in, you can set yourself up to be able to have a little bit of financial security while you are in that particular season. Again, having a baby is just like the easiest one to think of, but there are so many different examples of this. So really match it with you and your personal life and whatever it is that you're going through. And the last thing that I'll say about this, and this is really just to hone it in and to really bring this particular topic home, is to truly just trust. Truly just trust. Trust in the unknown. Trust that something better is coming. And if you really have that faith and you really have that trust, and it is unshakable, it's like this, it's almost like confidence even. It's like this feeling inside of you that's just like, oh yeah, of course, of course, of course. Something good is coming. Of course, I'm going to get more money. Of course, another student is going to sign up. Of course, they're going to be my dreamy ideal student. Of course, it had to be that student that was going to leave. Of course, this was going to be like this. That is so freaking huge. It is so huge. It will literally change your life. You're going to be blown away by just having unshakable trust. Because if there is one thing I know in my gut, in my heart of hearts, I know this to be true, the universe has your back. It really does. I promise you. Even when life feels insane, even when shit hits the fan, even when you're going through the most depressed state of your entire life, I have been there many times. And it's just always so freaking amazing to me to look back on that period of time and go, oh my God, even that was meant to happen. I could never have experienced this, whatever that is, whatever you're experiencing now, if I hadn't gone through that. Everything really does serve a purpose, even in the hardest times. The universe has your back. You may not be able to see what's going on, and our ego is going to freak out because we like to control things and we want life to be how we want it to be. But guess what, my friend? That is not the human experience. The human experience is, what's going to happen? This is so exciting. Let's surrender to the yes. I'm going to fully surrender. I'm going to fully trust that everything is happening for me and not to me. And it's going to shake out exactly in the way that it was supposed to. So I hope that that helps you feel a little bit better and that you really can just cultivate a true abundant mindset when it comes to this type of stuff. There are going to be ebbs and flows, my friend. That is part of the game we signed up for. And it is a game. And how you win the game is how you think of the game. All right. I'm so excited to hear what landed for you. If anything in particular really resonated with you, let me know. I love having conversations with you on Instagram. You can shoot me a DM over at the Voicepreneur, and we can totally chat it out. If you're going through a hard time, I just want to give you a big, huge hug and let you know you are so not alone. We are going to get through this. Something good is always coming. I swear on my life, it really and truly is. I love you so much. Thank you so much as always for being here with me, and I will catch you in the next episode. Oh my goodness, that was so juicy, and I'm so glad you're still here listening. You are amazing, and I can't wait to see what you take away from this episode and what you bring into your teaching business. Oof, it is going to be so good. If you want to come and see for yourself what it means to grow and scale your teaching business, come and check out the resources inside of the show notes or visit us over at thevoicepreneur.com. If you enjoyed this episode, take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at The Voicepreneur. Or if that's not your vibe, that's totally fine. Share it with your 2 best voice teacher friends so that we can continue spreading the good word that you can create a sustainable, spacious, and fun as fudge cake teaching business that makes an enormous impact on your students' lives and your life and your bank account. It's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see how your business changes your life. I'll catch you in the next episode.